You're listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour. If you miss any of the program, you can find the podcast at the bottom of the page at sunnyradio.com.
Give yourself a little credit.
It's more important than ever to have a better credit card. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to bettercreditcards.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Holy cow, was it warm enough for you yesterday? Well, if it wasn't, it's okay. It's going to be warm again today. I left some stuff in my car yesterday and it melted. And the thing is, it was stuff that shouldn't have melted. It was so hot. Oh my goodness. Be safe out there. Be careful out there. Don't leave things in your car out there because, again, they will melt. I literally had a cup melt. It wasn't supposed to melt, but it was hot. Again, today is another hot one. We've got another heat advisory. Going to be getting the weather forecast from our friends at Severe Studios and SiouxFallsWeather.com. That's coming your way here in a bit. And I've got a guest joining me. I'm actually pretty excited to talk to this young lady. Now, one of the things you're going to notice, we do interviews on this program a lot. Very rarely do we do interviews with music artists. Now, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to let you peek behind the curtain here, and I'll explain why. My wife and I do this radio show, the John and Heidi Show, not just on Sunny Radio, but we're on about 300 radio stations around the country. Now, they're not all awesome stations like this one with 80s and 90s music. Some of them play country music. Some of them play oldies music. We're on a polka station, I think, in Florida. We've got some current music stations that we play music for. So we have people who play a lot of different types of music, and then the John and Heidi Show is on that station as well. So for that reason, we don't usually talk to people who have anything to do with music because somebody that makes sense on one station might not make sense on another station. So this is like a little rare exception where I'm going to be doing an interview with a young lady. We don't even play her music here. Her name is Karina Rykman. She's actually a friend of a friend, and I had a chance to listen to one of her songs. He shared it and said, hey, take a listen to this young lady. I think she's going places. And I listened, and I think he's right. Just amazing musician. And I said, you know what? I would love to do that. So I've got an interview with Karina Rykman coming up. She's from New York City, but she's on a little tour going all over the country. And we're going to chat with her coming up and talk a little bit about her music. And then I'll throw a link online if you want to catch the tune that I've been listening to over and over is called Joyride by Karina Rykman. It's a really cool song. Again, it's not the music that we play on Sunny Radio. That's okay. Going to talk to her about it anyway. And who knows, maybe someday she will be a household name like a Taylor Swift or something. But Karina Rykman joining us here in just a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with Karina Rykman. She's a young artist from New York. Now, you're traveling all over the country for the release of this new album, aren't you, Karina?
That couldn't be more correct, John. I'm a Manhattanite, a Manhattan native, if you will, and this record and my music has taken me to all corners of the country, for sure.
So you've been traveling quite a bit. Where would you say of all of the places you've gone has been your favorite place? Do you like going to the big cities or do you like the small town vibe a little bit more?
Oh, great question. Great question. I mean, both have something to offer in their respective ways, for sure. There's something really great about going to a smaller town where they get less music. They're less spoiled by, options, than we are in New York or LA or Nashville or whatever. Sometimes if you go to a smaller town, they're just so excited to see, live music coming through their town and that can be very, very exciting. So I love that. But I got to say, New Orleans is one of my favorite places to play music in the country. There's kind of nowhere that comes close somehow, in the sense of that is the only city in the country that is defined by its culture. And boy, does it live up to the hype, So to me, that might have to take the number one slot. Otherwise, I mean, there's some amazing pockets all throughout. Even, a place like Portsmouth, New Hampshire, tiny little coastal New England town. They go absolutely crazy. It kind of feels like the New Orleans of the Northeast. So, you really can never know. And I'm just starting too in a lot of ways. So it feels exciting to discover all these little tour stops that, you can be very surprised sometimes where you stop at a town that's ready to go.
I love that. And this summer, you have had a very busy schedule. And I'm looking on here, I've seen you've been to a bunch of different fairs and a bunch of different festivals. That's got to be kind of fun because now when you go to these, it's not just you, there's a lot of other fun stuff going on as well. It's a big old party.
Oh, I love festival season. Really love it. It's, of course I love playing headlining shows, but festival season, every time the summer comes around, I get very, very excited because you're right. I mean, and it's really fun to catch up with all of, my friends that are in touring bands that, you don't necessarily see for a good portion of the year. And then boom, here you go. It's May and you're just running into everybody who's on the same circuit as you. It's really a really fun thing. And, it opens you up, of course, to tons of new fans and just new experiences and all that stuff. So I'm a huge fan of festival season for sure.
Again, our guest today is Karina Rykman. She's a musician out of New York, but she is on a national tour right now, going from town to town, city to city, fair to fair. And she's got a new album she's promoting. On this album, there's a song called Joyride. I've listened to that one several times, and I kind of it reminds me a little bit of some of the music from like the late 80s, early 90s. What was your influence for the song Joyride as you put that song together?
Oh man, I'm wildly proud of this song, so much so that it's the title track of my debut album, Joyride. So it's very exciting, and I love this tune so much. It has so many disparate influences, as does the rest of the record, right? But I would say somewhere between LCD Sound System with also these very slinky, like Nile Rodgers from Chic-esque, funky guitar chords throughout the verses, mixed with, there's plenty of Depeche Mode influence in there and Cocktail Twins and all of that, and then of course filtered out through my absolute chameleonic brain. And, with these, it's got some pretty powerful hits in there too, which definitely come from somewhere between heavy metal and hip hop and something in there in my bizarre brain. So, I mean, Joyride, it's a jubilative, super fun, cruising around, summery vibe, and I'm really delighted with how it's turned out.
Karina, for folks who would like to follow you online, social media, maybe even catch a tour, because I know you're all over the place, where's the best place for them to go on the internet to find Karina Rykman?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm at Karina Rykman on all the social media platforms, so that's a great place to start. You can also go to KarinaRykman.com, KarinaRykman.com/tour, to see if my tour is coming to a city near you.
Well, I'm going to throw a link to make it easy to find that tour schedule. And folks, if you see Karina in your neighborhood, I encourage you to check her out. Karina, thank you for your time. I appreciate it a bunch.
Of course, John. Thanks for having me. It's been a true delight.
Again, Karina Rykman has been our guest today. KarinaRykman.com is her website. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
How much do you pay for your cell phone every month? If that's more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current one. Whether you're a fan of iPhones or Samsung, they both work well with Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying. Just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com.
Time now for This Day in Sioux Falls History, brought to you by Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3. It was on this day, August 22nd, 1973, Sioux Falls lawyer, state legislator, and one-time congressional candidate Francis G. Dunn is appointed to the South Dakota Supreme Court. Dunn had previously been appointed to the South Dakota District Court by then-Governor Stephanie Herseth Sandlin. This day in Sioux Falls history has been brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3.
Why did the chicken cross the road? To save money on insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. Do you have the best plan for you? Find out at InsuranceChicken.com. Let's face it, we don't even want insurance. We need it. But you don't need to overpay. Head over to InsuranceChicken.com to see your rates from several different companies. All available in one place at InsuranceChicken.com. The other guys have a gecko, a duck, and an emu. Why not a chicken? InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.